What's going on, guys? B-Flatten here with the Clone Zone Zane update build. So we did a level 60 version of this exact Clone Zone Zane, and this time we're going to be doing the 65 version. Now there's some differences between this version and the last version, so let's just get right into it. So green tree, we have nothing, nice and easy. Blue tree, we stick with violent speed and violent momentum. We drop down to 1 in salvation. We upgrade to 5 in cool hand with some of our new skill points because of the reload speed. All these little interactions here is going to be kill steals, movement speed is increased. The more that you have movement, the more that you have gun damage. When your kill steal is procced, you have life steal. Your drone delivery is going to be dropping a free grenade, which we'll be getting into our grenade right away. Every 15 seconds, we drop a free grenade. And cool hand at the max, we get a 15% reload speed and 30% after a kill. It is a kill skill that stacks twice, so our reload speed is insane. Death follows close so that we can get increased effects and duration of all of our kill skills. Violent violence for fire rate. Playing dirty for extra projectiles after we kill an enemy. Our next 5 shots will have this. Good misfortune, this is for action skill duration so that we can have our action skill duration keep on proccing and keep on going. And our blue tree augments with our drone is going to be bad dose. We weaken enemies and buff ourselves. Our buff is going to be movement speed and fire rate, and weaken enemies have decreased movement speed and attack speed. We also have static fields so that we have sentinels sending out a shock beam to nearby enemies, draining their shields and replenishing ours. It is good for keeping our shield up. Red tree, we do synchronicity for gun damage per action skill. We have the mag size increase for me and clone, very important for some of our Zane and Digiclone gain increased mag size. Now this is going to be more important for our larger magazine guns like our SMGs and our pistols rather than our heavier weapons, but both me and clone will benefit from them. Borrowed time, this is going to be for action skill duration for every active action skill. Duct tape mod, we have a chance to fire a grenade. This is another source of throwing grenades because we can't throw any grenades. So every time we fire a gun, our first shot is going to have a chance to fire that grenade. Because we have increased fire rate and reload speed, we're emptying our mags pretty quickly, so duct tape mod has a good chance of proccing up to 20% for a cooldown time of 8 seconds. It's pretty nice. Donnybrook, we have 5 into it, and our class mod's giving us 5, so we have a gun damage rate of 45%. It is probably one of our main damaging skills. Quick breather, whenever we swap with clone, we begin recharging shield and restore HP to clone. This is for our survivability for clone, and also to keep our shield above being always lowered and dropping to 0 very often. Old U, this is just to save ourselves in case we go down and clone is up. Pocket full of grenades, this is where I put one of my points into for the new level cap. After killing an enemy, we gain grenade regeneration for a few seconds, just because we're throwing nades pretty often with duct tape mod and drone delivery. It'll just let us keep our regen of grenades going up a little bit. Supersonic Man, this is going to be going with violent violence and violent speed. Whenever one of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased movement speed for each active action skill. We get a 24% for having both of them active. Trick of the Light is where I put another one of my extra points. I put bonus cryo damage to enemies that aren't targeting me. Since I'm going to be swapping a lot with clone, clone does distraction so that enemies are not focused on me. So we get to do a little bit of bonus cryo damage to those enemies. Boom Enhance, this is one of our main skills from last time. Whenever we summon our Digiclone, he consumes grenades, which is why we have pocket full of grenades for regen as well. We gain gun damage, HP, fire rate, reload speed, and Digiclone duration. This is a solid clone skill. And finally, we have double barrel. So whenever we give whatever weapon we're holding, whenever we summon clone, we give him that weapon. So he just takes our entire weapon. Here we have which one's real. Whenever we swap with clone, we do distraction with clone. Clone takes aggro, and I do doppelbanger. So whenever Zane's action skill is ended, the clone explodes, dealing splash damage to all nearby enemies for 75,000 damage. This is just in case I proc like old U, or if I want to like reposition clone or something. We can do like an increased Nova of 75,000 damage to any nearby enemy that wants to fighter clone. Into our weapons, we're trying to mix up elements as much as possible because Zane doesn't have a lot of elemental potential besides like Sentinel Cryo and whatever item the actual gun is going to be doing. So we got to mix up our elements as much as possible to match those enemies. So first off, we have a Corrosion Light Show with Sentinel Cryo. So we're swinging for Corrosive and Corrosive Cryo here with all times as long as we have Sentinel active. It's good against armored enemies, and it's also good against fleshy enemies. It's probably one of my personal favorites just for a quick high mag size item. The Bloodstarved Beast, I've been really invested into the Bloodstarved Beast on pretty much every character so far since its release. I've tried it on Moze, I've tried it on Flak, and now we're trying it out on Zane. This one is doing Radiation and Sentinel Cryo, which is two of the most neutral elements in the game. These are going to have some of their bonuses and some of their buffs against some things, and they're not going to do so well against some others. Mixing and matching them together, you have a true neutral element swinging at enemies, along with all of Zane's natural gun damage skills. And we have the Hellwalker. So the Hellwalker got an insane buff recently, and it's also fire, so I thought this was going to be a really good fire weapon to have with us. It also swings with Sentinel Cryo, so we're swinging for 2 elements. And because of Cool Hand, our reload speed is going to be so fast you won't even see the animation of reload whenever we're shooting the Hellwalker. So if you want something really, really fast to wipe out enemies at a close range, this is probably going to be your weapon. And we have the Backburner. So the Backburner is coming with splash damage instead of Sentinel Cryo like the rest of the weapons. And it is shock. So there's a couple of reasons for this. I use the Backburner, and I like to use it with the Transformer in Guardian Takedown, usually exclusively. For those that don't know, you can absorb the bullets from the Backburner, and you can add ammo back. It's kind of like Sham Fleeting in Borderlands 2, except this one's a little bit more scummy. But it's really nice against the Crystal Phase, because that's one of Zane's biggest counters. Because it's shock, and because we have a Transformer, we automatically heal our shields as well, and we cause a lot of particle effects on our screen. So if you're on a console and you want to have a slow cooker very, very quickly, I would recommend this. But if you don't want to fry your console, please don't do this. It'll probably not be a good result for you. The splash damage is also going to be affecting Clone. There's only 2 anoints in the entire game that Clone can benefit from, and splash damage is one of them. So if we give this to Clone, Clone will actually benefit from this. And we have the Transformer like we were just talking about. It has Sentinel movement, so it goes with Violent Speed, Violent Momentum, Supersonic Man, all those movement speed steals for stun damage. The Piss Grenade so that we can debuff enemies. This is going into Drone Delivery, and this is going to be the grenade that's going to be regen with Pocket Full of Grenades. And Duct Tape Mod is also going to be shooting out its Piss Grenades every once in a while. Seeing Dead. Seeing Dead is pretty much Zane's only class mod these days, as we know. There's a lot of obscure builds that don't use the Seeing Dead, but primarily every build focuses around the Seeing Dead these days. It comes with crit, comes with splash damage, action skill damage, so our Clone is super duper buff and it can benefit from splash, and then the crit is on top there just for doing crit damage with multi-pellet weapons like the Light Show or the Hellwalker. The Snowdrift Victory Rush, now there's a few different artifacts you can choose from based on the passives that you like. This one's mag size, area of effect damage, and movement speed. However, you can also benefit from action skill cooldown rate and cryo damage, because all of our weapons except for our Backburner is doing bonus cryo damage. So that cryo damage is going to be really, really nice. On top of Trick of the Light, we get bonus damage from cryo damage. So it really depends on what you want for your passives. I usually use this one just because the mag size and area of effect damage is really nice. And of course, passive movement speed is going into all of our movement skills for our gun damage. More movement, more gun damage. So let's just get right into the build. We'll start off by giving our Clone the Backburner, and we'll enter this area because our Clone can benefit from the Backburner. So we'll summon Clone over here. Now the Backburner does damage to you. It is one of the weapons that does friendly fire damage to you. So if your Clone hits you with the Backburner by accident, if you're, say, really, really close to an enemy like I was just there, and the Clone hits you with the Backburner, you will still heal from it because we have the Transformer on and the Clone doesn't do self-damage to us. Previously, I was using an old god with the back burner because I wanted to do more elemental damage. Elemental damage is just something that Zane lacks in pretty heavily. So I wanted to try to improve that a little bit with the old god and try something new. But whenever I would give Clone the back burner, he would always kill me. So I didn't want my own clone to blow me up anymore. I'd imagine the same results could happen with a Plague Bearer if you had a Sentinel Cryo Shock Plague Bearer. Because the Plague Bearer doesn't do self-damage, it's not one of those launchers. But back burners usually fire quickly and they don't have that long charge up time. So it really depends on what your preference is. Plague Bearers hit hard, they seek out enemies. Back burners shoot a little bit quicker because they don't have that charge up time. Yeah, Clone's just kind of doing his own thing here, killing everything off. I love the Blood-Starved Beast. The reload speed on this thing is insane with our reload speed skill Cool Hand. And the fire rate on this thing is insane because fire rate can stack twice. But speaking of fire rate, if you blink, you'll miss the reload speed. It is so fast that you're just constantly firing this thing. It's pretty much like Doom. And this is coming from a person who's never played Doom before, but this is pretty much what I would imagine Doom to be. Just that shotgun free firing as much as you want it to at any given time. It's fairly hectic. We don't even have to care about death. Death can only appear twice. There's only could be a maximum of two deaths. But with all of our movement speed combined, we just outspeed death. He'll probably just expire before we even look at him again. Now this does mobbing very, very well. I did a little switch there just so I can have this frontline commando in my sights. It also confuses death. So you can look at death right here and go, oh, now I'm over here. And death will just want to go over here and you can just hit it to expire. I didn't even kill it there, it just expired. But having that swap, learning how to swap as often as you can with Clone is great because this is where a lot of your survivability is going to come in from. Because you get shield regen, you give health to the Clone, and you also have distractions so that you don't go down. So, okay, we got our Clone. We have our Sentinel around us. Slide over here. Drop our friend. Shoot a back burner, and that's it. There goes Tron. Yeah, element matching back burners and giving them to Clone is pretty much the bossing segment of Zane. Mobbing, mix and match elements. We have corrosion, we have radiation, we have fire, so you can mix and match as you will. And they all come with Sentinel Cryo, which is all the neutral elements of the game. So things, if they do resist you, you have a neutral element to counter that. Is there anything else in here to cover? Zestop's Eruption. This is a debuff gun. Comes with radiation Sentinel Cryo, like we were just talking about neutral stuff. It's really, really good for the breaking pellets thing. If those pellets hit, you debuff the enemy by a lot. Sandhawks are in here. Chaos is in here. This was buffed recently. Next to Max Chaos if you want to not do Sentinel Cryo. Yeah, we got two Sandhawks in here in case you want to play around with either one. Breath of the Dying with Urad if you wanted to play around with that. That's just a bonus little toy. But yeah, I think that's going to be the build. Guys, my name is B Flattened. I'm signing on out of here. Take care, all. Laters.